Hello and welcome. In this chapter, we will discuss the Microsoft.NET ecosystem and see how the different components fits together. Since our C# programs uses the .NET framework, a good understanding of the platform is useful for building effective and efficient applications. We'll start by learning what is the .NET framework, why it is so useful, and how to use it efficiently. Then we'll cover some of the components of the framework, and finally we'll end this lecture by exploring some of the advantages of the .NET framework. Let's get started. As always, our main reference for this lecture is cspeedrun.com. You'll find all the code snippets we have covered in this lecture. It covers other topics such as design patterns, loops, object-oriented, and so on. We highly recommend the site for C# developers. Now, the dot in .NET refers to object-oriented methodology, and the net refers to the internet. So using .NET means we can develop internet-based object-oriented application. Initially, the .NET framework could only run on Windows. However, with the release of the .NET Core, we can run our application on Linux or even Mac. The .NET framework was invented and released in 2002 by Microsoft. So here's a list of the .NET framework supported languages. We have over 50 of them, such as C#.NET, C++, JavaScript.NET. This is by no means a complete list. There are many others available. The big question is, what is the .NET framework? It provides a standard way for building and deploying applications. The apps we develop runs on top of the .NET framework. It provides us with a wide selection of services such as security management, dealing with databases, reading files and writing files, and memory management. Our application can use all of these services available in the framework. These services allows us to write application for any platform such as web application, desktop application, or even games. The .NET framework consists of two main components. The first one is the Common Language Runtime or CLR, and the Framework Class Library or FCL. The FCL provides us with code snippets so that we can build our application faster. We should try not to reinvent the wheel. Before starting any new project, we should do some research to see which service can help us speed up our development. Let's take a look at the CLR. The CLR is at the heart of the .NET framework. It provides a virtual machine to run our code, and it ensures that our application has optimal performance and compatibility across different operating systems. Another critical job of the CLR is to provide garbage collection, which frees up memory and other resources automatically. In other languages such as C or C++, let's say we write an application on a Windows machine with a 32-bit processor, the compiler will convert the C++ code into machine-specific code, meaning our application will not work on other OS or different processor. Our code will not be portable from one platform to another. In other words, our application will be dependent on the Windows machine. Now let's take a look how the .NET framework handles our code. In the .NET framework, the code is compiled twice. So during the first compilation, the source code is compiled by the language compiler. In this case, we'll be using the C# compiler, and this generates an intermediate code. This code is also known as the MSIL or Microsoft Intermediate Language, and sometimes called the managed code. So this intermediate code is partially compiled code, meaning it cannot be executed by any operating system. So we need a second compilation. And during this second compilation, the intermediate code is converted into OS-specific code, which is done by the CLR. The CLR will read the intermediate code and converts it into machine-specific binary code for specific operating system. Consequently, it doesn't matter if we don't know what operating system will run our application, whether it's a Windows 10, Windows 7 or Windows Server. The intermediate code is portable to any platform as long as we have the CLR installed. So to summarize, as long as our hardware has the CLR, it can run our application. This makes our software, OS and hardware independent. We don't have to worry about the version of the OS or the CPU compatibility. Our application will run just fine. So here's an illustration. So whether it's the Linux operating system, Mac OS or Windows, our application will be able to run on any of them if they have the .NET framework installed. So that's it for this lecture. We have learned what is the .NET framework, some of the components of the .NET framework, and why the framework is so useful and how to use it efficiently. And then finally, we have covered some of the advantages of the .NET framework. For additional lectures, check out our Udemy courses. The link is in the description box below. Please like, share, and subscribe for more content. See you guys later. Goodbye.